Hello and welcome to another Lamp Bible study. My name is James and I will continue to be your host and Bible reader for Lamp Bible studies. I'm currently reading from an NIV Collegiate Bible and we will be picking up in Numbers chapter 26 today. So I thank you very much for following along and I pray that these Bible studies help all of us, help you and help myself as well. You know, before every Bible study, I do say a prayer. I do ask for guidance. I do ask for clarity, and I pray for wisdom. And that is something that we all would like to seek, we would all like to have. Just like Solomon, just like King Solomon. So let's get right to it. Let's get right into the word. The second census. After the plague, the Lord said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, take a census of the whole Israelite community by families, all those 20 years old or more who are able to serve in the army of Israel. So on the plains of Moab, by the Jordan across from Jericho, Moses and Eleazar, the priest, spoke with them and said, take a census of the men 20 years old or more, as the Lord commanded Moses. And so where we left off is that Moab had seduced Israel and the men of Israel. And so they started intermingling with the Moabites. Not only were they intermingling, but they were also led astray. They were sacrificing to the gods of the land. Now remember, these are the people that have the Ten Commandments. They had the Lord with them, and yet they were still being led astray. So much so that they were in punishment, and a plague happened. And so one of the priests, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, got zealous for the Lord and ended up doing away with the person in particular that was leading or being led astray, and as an example to the people. And not only did that happen, but that stopped the plague from continuing on. And so now we're at the point where the Lord is telling Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron, to go ahead and take another census. And also, what's key about these censuses is who is asking, who is requesting for the census, because this is going to be very important as time goes on and as we continue to read with Israel. Let's continue to read. There were the Israelites who came out of Egypt. The descendants of Reuben, the firstborn son of Israel, were through Hanok, the Hanakites or Hanachite clan, through Palu, the Paluite clan, through Hezron, the Hezronite clan, through Carmi, the Carmite clan. These were the clans of Reuben. Those numbered were 43,730. The son of Palu was Eliab, and the sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abram. The same Dathan and Abram were the community officials who rebelled against Moses and Aaron, were among Korah's followers when they rebelled against the Lord. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, along with Korah, whose followers died when the fire devoured the 250 men, and they served as a warning sign. The line of Korah, however, did not die out. The descendants of Simeon by their clans were through Nemuel, the Nemuelite clan, through Jamin, the Jaminite clan, through Jachin, the Jachinite clan, through Zerah, the Zerahite clan, through Shaul, the Shaulite clan. These were the clans of Simeon. There were 22,200 men. The descendants of Gad by their clans were through Zephon, the Zephonite clan, through Haggai, the Haggite clan, through Shuni, the Shunite clan, through Ozni, the Oznite clan, through Eri, the Erite clan, through Arodi, the Arodite clan, through Areli, the Arelite clan. These were the clans of Gad. Those numbered were 40,500. And Onan were sons of Judah, but they died in Canaan. The descendants of Judah by their clans were, through Shelai, the Shelonite clan, through Perez, the Perizzite clan, through Zerah, the Zerahite clan. The descendants of Perez were, through Hezron, the Hezronite clan, through Hamel, the Hamelite clan. These were the clans of Judah. Those numbered were 76,500. The descendants of Issachar by their clan were, through Tola, the Tolite clan, through Pua, the Puite clan, through Jeshub, the Jeshubite clan, through Shimron, the Shimronite clan. These were the clans of Issachar, those numbered were 64,300. The descendants of Zebulun by their clans were, through Sarid, the Saridite clan, through Elon, the Elonite clan, through Jahleel, the Jahleelite clan. These were the clans of Zebulun. Those numbered were 60,500. The descendants of Joseph by their clans through Manasseh and Ephraim were, the descendants of Manasseh through Machir, the Machirite clan. Machir was the father of Gilead. Through Gilead, the Gileadite clan. These were the descendants of Gilead. Through Lizar, the Lizarite clan. Through Helek, the Helekite clan. Through Esrael, the Esraelite clan, through Shechem, the Shechemite clan, through Shemida, the Shemidite clan, through Hefer, the Heferite clan. Zelophehad, son of Hefer, had no sons. He had only daughters, whose names were Mahlah and Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were the clans of Manasseh. Those numbered were 52,700. These were the descendants of Ephraim by their clans through Shuthelah, the Shuthelite clan, through Becher, the Becherite clan, through Tahan, the Tahanite clan. These were the descendants of Shethulah through Aaron, the Aaronite clan. These were the clans of Ephraim. Those numbered were 32,500. These were the descendants of Joseph by their clans. The descendants of Benjamin by their clans were, through Bela, the Balite clan, through Ashbel, the Ashbelite clan, through Aram, the Aramite clan, through Shepham, the Shephamite clan, through Hepham, the Hephamite clan. The descendants of Bela through Ard and Naaman were, through Ard, the Ardite clan, through Naaman, the Naamite clan. These were the clans of Benjamin. Those numbered were 45,600. These were the descendants of Dan by their clans. Through Shuham, the Shuhamite clan. These were the clans of Dan. All them were Shuhamite clans, and those numbered were 64,400. The descendants of Asher by their clans were, through Imnah, the Imnite clan, through Ishvi, the Ishvite clan, through Bera, the Berite clan, and through the descendants of Bera, through Heber, the Heberite clan, through Malchil, the Malchilite clan. Asher had a daughter named Sarah. These were the clans of Asher. Those numbered were 53,400. The descendants of Naphtali by their clans were, through Jeziel, the Jezreelite clan, through Guni, the Gunite clan, through Jezer, the Jezerite clan, through Shillem, the Shillemite clan. These were the clans of Naphtali. Those numbered were 45,400. The total number of the men of Israel was 601,730. So, again, these Old Testaments, do bear with me as I really try to pronounce these names. If you do know the correct pronunciation, don't mind dropping a note in the comments or just saying them to yourself correctly. So, but it also is, again, as I mentioned in a previous Bible study, this was a way to make sure to keep family records, to keep records of people and where they descended from. Unlike today, where you can literally take a little bit of your saliva and send it in, and they can tell you almost exactly where your family DNA is and where your family came from or where you came from. This was the way, back in the Old Testament during Moses, that they tracked their family, and to make sure that they were following along in guidance with the law and rules according to what the Lord had set up, including land and portions and work. And so this was very important. The census was very important. It wasn't just like a military thing. It was actually utilized for quite a bit of other things, especially during this time. How do you feel about them repeating the records, going through the records, making sure that they had the names in particular down and the counts? How does it make you feel? What does it make you think? Let's continue to read. The Lord said to Moses, "The land is to be allotted to them as an inheritance based on the number of names. To a larger group, give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group, a smaller one. Each is to receive its inheritance according to the number of those listed. Be sure that the land is distributed by lot. What each group inherits will be according to the names for its ancestral tribe. Each inheritance is to be distributed by lot among the larger and smaller groups." These were the Levites who were counted by their clans. Through Gershon, the Gershonite clan; through Kohath, the Kohathite clan; through Merari, the Merarite clan. These also were Levite clans: the Libinite clan, the Hebronite clan, the Mahalite clan, the Mushite clan, the Korhite clan. Kohath was the forefather of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, a descendant of Levi, who was born to the Levites in Egypt. To Amram she bore Aaron, Moses, and their sister Miriam. Aaron was the father of Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died when they made an offering before the Lord with unauthorized fire. We did go through that in a previous Bible study, how they may have thought, not sure exactly what they were thinking, because it doesn't really point out or say what exactly that they were thinking to make this unauthorized fire before the Lord, fire offering before the Lord. It may have been out of showing off, it may have been trying to show that they were the best, that they were better than everybody. There may have been something in there that was making it sinful. And remember, sin can't be around the Lord. And so we did talk about that. We also talked about how it happened in front of Aaron's eyes. And during this time, Aaron and his sons were in the process of being consecrated. So Aaron was not allowed to mourn in front of the Lord as he was being consecrated. He was allotted time for mourning, but it was going to be after the process. And so that way that they could continue with the consecration to become holy in the Lord and to be able to serve the Lord. And of course, Aaron would have his allotted time of mourning, but at the same time, as a parent, we also talked about how would you feel about that, and would you feel responsible? As in, was this something that you missed? Maybe even missed a teaching point to make sure that the child, like he was making sure that his child wasn't thinking along those lines and being respectful not only of his elders, but respectful of God who is with them, and who you would think that Aaron was preparing his family, especially for this type of role. So if you do want to go back, we did talk about that in the previous Bible study, and that gives some insight to what had happened and why it was brought up again. And that happens throughout the Bible. Things get brought up for specific reasons, as reminders of what not to do, as examples to help us, just like nowadays with educational, even children's educational, repeating things more over and over again, whether you're young or an adult or more mature, it helps. It helps us remember. So in this case, not only were they repeating the names and the names of the clans and the counts, but they were also repeating what happened within recent history and within history as a reminder to the people. Let's continue to read. All the male Levites, a month old or more, numbered 23,000. They were not counted along with the other Israelites because they received no inheritance among them. These are the ones counted by Moses and Eleazar, the priests, when they counted the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. Not one of them was among those counted by Moses and Aaron, the priest, when they counted the Israelites in the desert of Sinai. For the Lord had told those Israelites they would surely die in the desert, and not one of them was left except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. And so remember, the reason why Caleb and Joshua, who had a name previous to Joshua, was the name, I think it was Hoshea, son of Nun. And so where to find that is way back in Numbers 13, chapter 13, verse 16. And Moses gave him a new name, which was Joshua. And so both Caleb and Joshua were actually part of the group of 12 men that went into the Canaan land to explore it for Israel and to bring back a report, just as the Lord requested. This may have been another test for Israel, and the Lord showing that they weren't ready. That particular generation was not ready to follow through. It showed them just how rebellious they were. So the group came back and gave a report saying that the land is flowing with milk and honey. However, the people living among the land were too strong for Israel to overtake, even though God was with them. And so that arose, the Lord's anger, because not only did the people believe the account, except for Joshua and Caleb, who were telling them, no, let's do this. Let's go ahead and go on just as the Lord told us to do. But the people of Israel also wanted to rebel and kill both Moses and Aaron, and also elect another new leader and go back to Egypt. And so it was a repeated pattern. And so the Lord saw that, and he gave a reward to both Joshua and Caleb, allowing them to live out the generation that they were dealing with and continue on to the promised land. So that's one thing that we can definitely learn from and look at as well. Is there something holding us back from moving on? A really good friend of mine, a sister in the Spirit, in the Holy Spirit, she informed me at one time that, and since she informed me, it's kept in my head, and many things have kept in my head like this, including words from my parents, including words from others. When I know the Holy Spirit, I know the Lord is working through them and talking with them. But she mentioned that, am I not moving? Am I doing something to prevent myself from moving forward? Because I need to continue to be able to move forward in order for somebody else to take my place, or to take the place that I am. And I need to be able to use that as an example to help others. So if I'm struggling or in a midst of something, but need to progress in a stalemate, or in not moving along, kind of staggered, I need to be able to move forward. And that moving forward comes with prayer. It comes with fellowship with the Lord, seeking the Lord's guidance and wisdom, and whether it's being patient for an answer or actually doing what you're supposed to be doing when the Lord is speaking to you, when he's telling you what to do, or giving you signs or other means by showing you and enlightening you how you need to move forward. And so that really stuck to me, how that I could be preventing someone else in life from coming into my previous spot when it's, for instance, a career ladder or moving on into a new position in life. And it could be holding somebody else back, just like someone else could be holding me back. So we also got to look at it another way. You can look at it as in through life, you need to continually move forward. And how to do that is by going to God with your issues, with your problems, and continually reading the Bible is one excellent way of doing that, seeking God's wisdom through his holy word. So, what kind of ideas or situation have you come across? Have you felt that way? Have you felt like you had stumbled or you were on a pause and you were trying to figure out how to move forward in your life, whether it be spiritually, financially, or just life in general? Do you know others who have been through that? Have you been able to utilize your own knowledge of going through things to help others? Another saying is, you always have one hand up and one hand down. You don't want to have two hands up because you also want to be able to help someone else. And I'm not speaking as in have one hand down. I'm not. It's definitely not referencing sin. What I'm referencing is someone will help you and you be able to help someone else. So for instance, a good example is the Lord helps you and the Lord wants to be able to work through you, and you have to allow that. So you're going to have one hand to help someone else, if that makes sense. So, but again, how does it make you feel and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Zelophehad's daughters. The daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of the daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They approached the entrance to the tent of meeting and stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders, and the whole assembly, and said, "Our father died in the desert. He was not among Korah's followers, who banded together against the Lord, but he died for his own sin and left no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from his clan because he had no son? Give us property among our father's relatives." So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord said to him, "What Zelophehad's daughters were saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives and turn their father's inheritance over to them." This is an excellent idea. This is an excellent thing that Moses did. He took it straight to the Lord, the situation straight to the Lord. Do we do that as people, as a community? Do we do that as a family? When a situation arises, even if it's small or what we think is small, do we take it immediately to the Lord, or do we just know what to do or think we know what to do or just make a decision on our own? That's always something to think about, meditate about, have in your mind. Do I bring things to the Lord that may need to be brought to the Lord? Even if you feel it's something that you can easily handle, do you stop for a moment and think, maybe I should take this to the Lord? And so what happened was he took the situation directly to the Lord, and the Lord confirmed that these daughters were correct. Let's continue to read. "Say to the Israelites, if a man dies and leaves no son, turn his inheritance over to his daughter. If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father had no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan, that he may possess it. This is to be a legal requirement for the Israelites as the Lord commanded Moses. So now we have a complete and total clearing of a situation. So not only if there were no sons, that the land would go to the daughters, which would set things correct in the line and the lineage of the family. But it also gave alternatives all the way through what was needed. This is to make sure that no clan or family was left behind or felt that they weren't being looked after. The Lord knew what to do, and the Lord knew how to handle it, because he's just. He's all-knowing, and he's just. And the Lord also already knew about this situation. But the Lord, allows it for in time to happen. So we as individuals, as people, we live off of time as we know it. Minutes, hours, days, etc. And so the Lord is timeless. He is the past, he's the present, and the future. He's the Alpha and the Omega. And he knows everything. But he allows for time to happen so things can be said and that he can address them in due time, in his timing. And so he has clearly given correct information. Of course, it is correct because it's from the Lord, to Israel to follow. Joshua to succeed Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go up this mountain in the Abram range and see the land I have given the Israelites. After you have seen it, you too will be gathered to your people, as your brother Aaron was. For when the community rebelled at the waters in the desert of Zin, both of you disobeyed my command to honor me as holy before their eyes. These were the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, in the desert of Zin." Moses said to the Lord, "May the Lord, the God of the spirits of all mankind, appoint a man over this community to go out and come in before them, one who will lead them out and bring them in. So the Lord's people will not be like sheep without a shepherd." So the Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. Have him stand before Eleazar the priest and the entire assembly, and commission him in their presence. Give him some of your authority, so the whole Israelite community will obey him. He is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who will obtain decision for him by inquiring of the Urim before the Lord. At this command, he and the entire community of the Israelites will go out, and at his command they will come in." Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and had him stand before Eleazar the priest and the whole assembly. Then he laid his hands on him and commissioned him, as the Lord instructed through Moses. So now we're seeing that Joshua, who again had been through the struggle with them all the way back in Egypt, had been in the desert with them while the Lord was providing for Israel. And then Joshua and Caleb were selected to be representatives. So not only have they been rewarded, but now Joshua is becoming the leader of Israel. He's taking the lead role for Israel. And we learned that Moses was given an award too. He had rebelled by striking the rock twice, even though the Lord said, "That's just speak to the rock." But Moses did not. Maybe it was because he was tired. Maybe it was because he was angry. We don't know specifically Moses' thoughts as to why he did it. He may have did it because he was frustrated. We don't know. But he did it, and it was incorrect, because that was not the direction the Lord had told him. And so, even though water came out of the rock after Moses had struck the rock twice, he disobeyed the Lord, and so he would not be able to enter the promised land. However, the Lord went ahead and gave him a glimpse of the promised land. He went ahead and allowed him to see what would have been with his own eyes. How does that make you feel? What does that make you think? Let's continue to read. Daily offerings. The Lord said to Moses, "Give this command to the Israelites and say to them, see that you present to me at the appointed time the food for my offerings made by fire, as an aroma pleasing to me. Say to them, this is the offering made by fire that you are to present to the Lord: 2 lambs a year old without defect as a regular burnt offering each day. Prepare 1 lamb in the morning and the other at twilight, together with a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil from pressed olives. This is the regular burnt offering instituted at Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire. The accompanying drink offering is to be 1/4 of a hin of fermented drink with each lamb. Pour out the drink offering to the Lord at the sanctuary. Prepare the 2nd lamb at twilight, along with the same kind of grain offering and drink offering that you prepare in the morning. This is an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. So something just popped into my mind that was kind of interesting, and so it makes me want to go back for just a moment. And that was when the Lord told Moses to go ahead and commission Joshua to be the leader of the people. So remember what we were just talking about I was given examples of moving forward in life, and so it was the end of Moses' time, and so he had to help and prepare someone else to lead and take that leadership role. And so not only had he been leading by example of what a good leader is to do, but he also was able to direct the consecration, or the leadership role, to hand over the leadership role to Joshua. Not necessarily consecration, but I'm saying he was able to hand over the role of leading the community, and he did as he was instructed by the Lord. He brought all the community together, including the priests, and then he made Joshua the leader. Is there a place in life that we have done that, or we could do that? Are there times where we could help our fellow, like whether it's a coworker and we're doing good at our job, and maybe they're asking for help, or maybe they're seeking some help, or maybe you just just want to assist others. Have you thought about that? Have you done something like that where you help someone else to become the best that they could be? I was just thinking about that too. Or helping family members, or helping your friends. Again, if you have something that you have been given, including the word, including the wisdom, have you spread that? Have you shared that? Have you provided others with that knowledge? That's something to think about. And so have you came to a point in your life where you were tasked to even do that? So how did it make you feel? What did it make you think? Let's continue to read. Sabbath offerings. On the Sabbath day, make an offering of 2 lambs a year old without defect, together with its drink offering and a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. Monthly offerings. On the 1st of every month, present to the Lord a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, with the ram a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, and with each lamb a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. This is for a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire. With each bull there is to be a drink offering of half a hin of wine, with the ram a third of a hin, and with each lamb a quarter of a hin. This is the monthly burnt offering to be made at each new moon during the year. Besides the regular burnt offering, and with its drink offering, one male goat is to be presented to the Lord as a sin offering. And so these were, again, going over additional offerings to the Lord, the Sabbath offering and the monthly offering that the priests were to do. The Passover. On the 14th day of the first month, the Lord's Passover is to be held. On the 15th day of this month, there is to be a festival. For 7 days, eat bread made without yeast. On the first day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Present to the Lord an offering made by fire, a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull, prepare a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, with the ram 2/10, and with each of the 7 lambs 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Prepare these in addition to the regular morning burnt offering. In this way, prepare the food for the offering made by fire every day for 7 days as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. It is to be prepared in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. So in a previous Bible study, we did go over the Passover. So again, they're repeating a lot of the information about the Passover and the importance of the Passover, including the unleavened bread. So if you may have a question about that unleavened bread, it's because it was bread made without yeast, because the Lord had told Egypt to be ready, and he wanted them to eat and be ready. And there wasn't enough time for someone to prepare bread normally with leaven to have it rise and then bake it. So they were instructed to have unleavened bread because they were about to leave and they needed to leave in haste. Feast of Weeks. On the day of first fruits, when you present to the Lord an offering of new grain during the Feast of Weeks, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Present a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. With the ram 2/10, and with each of the 7 lambs 1/10. Include 1 male goat to make atonement for you. Prepare these together with their drink offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering. Be sure the animals are without defect. Several things here. Again, it was very important that the best of the best was given to the Lord. Remember, the Lord provided. The Lord provided for Israel, and they were to give the best back to him. The best of the best back to him. It was just a way of showing gratitude and thankfulness because the Lord was already providing for them fully. And so these are the offerings that they were to be made. Now, again, we're back in the Old Testament during the law. And so during this time, as representation of sin and giving thanks to the Lord and being in his presence, these offerings were to be made. There were the different types of offerings that we went over in previous Bible studies. The fellowship offering and sin offering, just to name a few. And there were also festivals that were to happen. And this is just in remembrance of different things, whether it be the Passover or just having abundance, being filled with joy and having abundance and praising the Lord for the abundance that the Lord has provided by following the rules and the law. And so we'll see just how well Israel continues on with these practices and continues on with the law and rule. For those of us who've read the Bible and those people who know, this is a prime example is why we needed Jesus, because there wasn't enough. It wasn't sufficient. Because of how we are, unfortunately, when it comes to sin, it wasn't sufficient there was not enough offerings, so there needed to be one ultimate offering, and that being Jesus. So with these festivals, what things can you think of that are done today? I know people that celebrate Purim. So Purim happened recently, and that had to deal with Hadassah or Esther, as you may know. There's one movie in particular that I have seen in reference to the Book of Esther, and that was One Night with the King, and that was an interesting movie. It was an interesting take on how someone believed situations and things happen during that time frame, that historic time frame, and from the Bible, and so they had some very creative ways of showing that. There are all kinds of movies and all kinds of plays and shows that take from the Bible, take stories and take not just stories but facts from the Bible, historical facts from the Bible, and people get creative and show different types of thoughts or feelings or different ways that they believe that they would see how things would play out in the Bible. There's also, you have Easter as a holiday. You have different, all kinds of different things throughout the year that are festivals. Christmas, of course, Thanksgiving, just to name a few. But are there other practices? Are there other things that you can think of or name that you know of that are special or in particular to a festival? One thing that happens, there are community festivals. There are community festivals or neighborhood festivals, block parties, etc. Church festivals. There's all kinds of different festivals. What kind of thoughts or feelings do you have? Or what kind of ideas come to mind when we read about this? How does it make you feel? And what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Feast of Trumpets. On the first day of the 7th month, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. It is a day for you to sound the trumpets. As an aroma pleasing to the Lord, prepare a burnt offering of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bull, prepare a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, with the ram 2/10, and with each of the 7 lambs 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. These are in addition to the monthly and daily burnt offerings with their grain offerings and drink offerings as specified. They are offerings made to the Lord by fire, a pleasing aroma. And so, once again, just in a reminder of the timeline, so now the generation that came from Egypt is dying off or has died off. And so all of these words and all of these instructions are being repeated because now you have the new generation, you have the younger generation that has came forward, and they are going to be led by Joshua into the promised land, and they're going to have a lot to deal with coming up. But as long as they continue to be on the path and follow the Lord, be on the path of the Lord, they'll be fine. There'll be no issues that they will have. And so all of this is coming up, and even though we've read about these festivals and these rules and laws, they're coming up again because they have to be repeated. Repetition helps bring it into the mind, and that helps us remember. Let's continue to read. Day of Atonement. On the 10th day of this 7th month, hold a sacred assembly. You must deny yourselves and do no work. Present as an aroma pleasing to the Lord a burnt offering of 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bull, prepare a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. With the ram 2/10, and with each of the 7 lambs 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the sin offering for atonement and the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. Feast of Tabernacles. On the 15th day of the 7th month, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Celebrate a festival to the Lord for 7 days. Present an offering made by fire as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, a burnt offering of 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each of the 13 bulls, prepare a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. With each of the 2 rams, 2/10, and with each of the 14 lambs, 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 2nd day, prepare 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, prepare their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day, prepare 11 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, prepare their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 4th day, prepare 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, prepare their grain offering and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 5th day, prepare 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bull, rams, and lambs, prepare their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 6th day, prepare 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, prepare their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 7th day, prepare 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, prepare their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified, and include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 8th day, hold an assembly and do no regular work. Present an offering made by fire as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, a burnt offering of 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bull, ram, and lambs, prepare their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. In addition to what you vow and your free will offerings, prepare these for the Lord at your appointed feasts: your burnt offerings, grain offerings, drink offerings, and fellowship offerings. Moses told the Israelites all that the Lord commanded him. So once again, as we see, Moses is handing off leadership role to Joshua, and he's also going over all the instructions that the Lord had given him, and with fine detail. So even though it had been years since the Lord had given him these instructions, he's being able to repeat them back to Israel. That is an amazing memory, to remember word for word, every single detail. There's people that say that you could constantly repeat those items and things in your head to help you remember. I think it was a little bit of everything. I think it was not only the Lord working through Moses, but also him meditating on the Holy Word, on the instructions that he was given, just to make sure that he had it down, make sure that he was able to teach it, make sure that he was living it. And so, what kind of thoughts or feelings can you think of, or how does this make you feel? Are there times that you tried to memorize something and forgot it, something important, or needed to take the time to memorize something or meditate on something? Have you meditated on the Lord's Word? when we read these Bible studies, do you take the information and think about them? Think about them in your life. Think about how they involve you and your life. I know I think about a lot of this constantly, and that's definitely a good way to continually seek wisdom, because the more it's in your head, the more you'll know, and it'll help you. And you'll know also to bring situations to the Lord. Bring situations to the Lord first. You'll remember that by meditating and thinking about it in your mind. How does it make you feel? What does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Vows. Moses said to the heads of the tribes of Israel, "This is what the Lord commands. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or takes an oath to obligate himself by a pledge, he must not break his word, but must do everything he said. When a young woman still living in her father's house makes a vow to the Lord or obligates herself by a pledge, and her father hears about her vow or pledge but says nothing to her, then all her vows and every pledge by which she obliged herself will stand. But if her father forbids her when he hears about it, none of her vows or the pledges by which she obligated herself will stand. The Lord will release her because her father has forbidden her. If she marries after she makes a vow or after her lips utter a rash promise by which she obligates herself, and her husband hears about it but says nothing to her, then her vows or the pledges by which she obligated herself will stand. But if her husband forbids her when he hears about it, he nullifies the vow that obligates her or the rash promise by which she obligates herself, and the Lord will release her. Any vow or obligation taken by a widow or divorced woman will be binding on her. If a woman living with her husband makes a vow or obligates herself by a pledge under oath, and her husband hears about it, but says nothing to her and does not forbid her, then all her vows or the pledges by which she obligated herself will stand. But if her husband nullifies them when he hears about them, then none of the vows or pledges that came from her lips will stand. Her husband has nullified them, and the Lord will release her. Her husband may confirm or nullify any vow she makes or any sworn pledge to deny herself. But if her husband says nothing to her about it from day to day, then he confirms all her vows or the pledges binding on her. He confirms them by saying nothing to her when he hears about them. If, however, he nullifies them sometime after he hears about them, then he is responsible for her guilt. These are the regulations the Lord gave Moses concerning relationships between a man and his wife, and between a father and his young daughter still living in his house. So that last line is very important, because I know a lot of people people read this and they misinterpret it hugely. So let me read the last part one more time. Verse 16. These are the chapter 30, verse 16. These are the regulations the Lord gave Moses concerning relationships between a man and his wife, and between a father and his young daughter still living in his house. Now, at this time, again, we're living with the Lord, and they're living under the law. And so these were what was given to them. And so we know that the wife in a relationship is to be treasured, is to be taken care of as not just a trophy, but as a treasured person. You have found your soulmate, and you have now are becoming one flesh. And so, or soulmate, you're the person who you love, and you're now to become one flesh. And so when it comes to the male, if the male obligated himself to a vow, that was straight on him. And so when it came to his wife, however, or his daughter, he had chances to nullify that an obligation that the wife or the daughter had made. Remember, this all this instructions date all the way back to even Adam and Eve. Adam was Eve took of the apple and then gave it to Adam to eat, and they weren't supposed to partake about in that apple. So that was sin. And so in this circumstance, it was giving both of them, the male and the female in the relationship, responsibility over vows and whether they were going to stand and whether they were going to do them or not. Think about it today too. When we take a vow, when you say, I promise to do something, do you promise to do something? Do you really do it? Do you really go through with it? Or do you end up breaking your promise or in your vow? How do you feel when someone does that to you? It's a complete letdown. So we got to think about this as, again, back in the Old Testament, during Moses' time, Joshua's coming on the scene. They were living with the Lord. This is part of the law, and this is part of the instructions in order to make sure that people were following their vows, following what they were saying, because when it comes to the mouth, man, there's all kinds of things in the Bible that talks about how the mouth is. The mouth is a sword. The mouth is a serpent. The tongue is a serpent. And that, you know what that reference to? That references to sin, the devil, because things come out of the mouth that are sinful. And so there's a lot to this. There's a lot of thought, and there's a lot of searching for information, and there's a lot of prayer that's needed. So if the information that we just went over is difficult, reach out to the Lord, pray to the Lord, ask him why, ask him those questions. If you feel like, well, if you're a person that feels like there's some type of sexism, like it's a male over a female or something, reach out to the Lord and ask him. He'll provide you the answer. He knows all. He has the wisdom. He can enlighten you as to why there was why the instructions were given this way. What was the importance of the reasoning of the instructions to be given this way? If the woman is supposed to be treasured, then look at it as a way, and maybe that may help. Maybe that may help. I'm not quite sure, because I'm not the Lord. So pray for guidance. You know, when I read this, what I understand from it is that it is the woman is treasured again, and she can make a vow, and a woman still can make a vow. But in this time, in this circumstance, the husband could nullify the vow, and the husband's supposed to be walking in the Lord as well. So if both the male and the female help each other, and that's throughout the Bible too. When the male stumbles, the woman's there too to help. And we see throughout the Bible, and that we'll continue to read and look at, even women become prophets, prophetess, and leaders. And so we'll continue to seek God's wisdom. Let's do a quick review. So we went from chapters 26 through chapter 30. We went over the second census and the importance of those as I stumbled over the names of the Old Testament. And I thank you so much for following along with me on that. And if you do know the correct way to pronunciate them, please do, or even leave a comment. More than welcome to leave a comment. We also went over Zelophehad's daughters and their really good statement and argument to Moses, and how about, since there were no sons left from their father, that they believed that the inheritance should go to them. So Moses went directly to the Lord, and the Lord agreed. The Lord not only agreed, but he said, yes, what they have said is correct. And therefore, he not only gave him instruction about this situation, but he continued on and gave him additional instruction as to if there are no sons or daughters. And Moses did the correct thing by going directly to the Lord. No matter what we think in life, however big or small that a task or a question or an issue is, we definitely should bring it to the Lord first. We learned that Joshua was to succeed Moses. And during that time, we also learned that Moses was going to be rewarded by being able to see the promised land. And we also talked about how, are we in a position, and are we ready to help someone else to become in a leadership role or to move along in their path. Daily offerings, we went over the daily offerings, Sabbath offerings, monthly offerings, all the offerings and feasts, such as the Feast of Weeks, Feast of Trumpets, the Passover, as repetition because this is the new generation. We also went over the Day of Atonement and Feast of Tabernacles. All this was very important to be repeated to the new generation that was going to take Israel into the Promised Land. And this information was repeated word for word, and which is huge. It's a huge importance to remember all this information directly from the Lord. It says a lot. We also talked about vows and how they were between men and women, and the reasonings for being obligated to a vow or not being obligated, removal of the vow. And so I thank you once again for joining me in another Lamp Bible study. I hope and I pray that these help you. I know they help me, and I thank God that they help me. Pray for myself, and I will continue to pray for us, continue to pray for you, as we continue to seek God's wisdom through the Lord's holy word. I do post Lamp Bible studies every Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and so on the YouTube channel. If you do have any comments or questions or anything that you would like to say, please do leave a comment, and I will definitely review those and get back to you. Once again, thank you so much for following along. Until next time, have a great morning, great day, great afternoon, great night, great evening. God bless.